he was actually
Wake up,
some
wake
bush,
up, James.
at a bush,
I am.
with some monkeys, and he was like at a forest. So that's why I said, hey, just go back, freaking go back to this whatever that the beach. You say you're beach boy, so say go back to beach or lake or was that bush, right? Like bush. So I was not saying that Kenya or Africa is bush, just like hey, go back
Like
to
I just
your
been
word,
woke up on
basically,
Instagram. Wake up,
that's
James.
where we
Lily's on
was.
Instagram doing
Instead,
all this shenanigan. But I'm glad,
I'm not
like
racist.
this
What are
part,
you
racism.
talking about? Like, stop saying like those stuff. Like I need to apologize.
So that even just to start to answer that part, Lily, you already know your ball ass line. I has never been, and I have the text receipts, and I'll call you. And when this time comes, if we have to continue doing this because it's a fun fair, let's get this going. But first, before I continue, to you now you have to. What about the part you say now you have to worry about AIDS? AIDS, like black women got AIDS, so you have to worry about AIDS. Maybe that you didn't see me by a bush or a lake or whatever you're saying there about you calling me to go back to the bush because you saw me on. I just cut that part. But like I say, you've been waiting to expose my girlfriend because I know that's the only receipts you have. You've been doing your research and now you have it. First you're talking about me being married. But this video is going to be in two parts because I just woke up, man. My phone was dinging, like my Instagram followers are coming up on me and everybody's dinging. My friends are like, oh, you're famous on IG. What's going on? And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't even have my background set up. But this video is going to go in two parts. So the first part, which was supposed to be coming sometime next week about, my kids and gymnastics and dance, but and like me not being able to let them do what they do. Lily, I just want to refresh you because of course this is a live, what do I call it again? Diary. Like I already changed my hair back, but I love the clashes. Yeah, it looks a lot better. But where was I? Yeah, about about what was I talking? Oh, about my kids and dance and gymnastics. Just this is not the main point. I'm really making this video. I'm making this video because I'm married and people want to know. A peaceful observer. I've been chatting with you and I told you I was gonna make this video for you. And easy somebody about I've been you know chatting with these folks and I love the way it's going. And now the Instagram police got James because James is married. But the first part of this video is response to Lily, your video about dance and gymnastics. I just want to say, I wish I had those letters that your baby, you can, Yuri is like a wind. It blows with Lily, whichever way Lily goes, how strong she goes, it's gonna blow. Like Lily says, she has a beauty for her, and she's mostly influenced by her mom, and so she's gonna blow. But the Somi is the Somi. The Somi is just James. You know, you can, yep, but no means no. And so you got to think back, Lily, on the story of dance and gymnastics, how you treat your kids, locking the Somi out, kicking her out of the house, the Somi writing letters, the letters to you. If I had those letters, I'd probably have shown them to you, but because the Somi wrote them, but they might come sometime soon. Letters of how she hates you, of how you treat her, how you lock her out, and because of what the segregation that you do between the Somi and Yuri on their practices, dance and gymnastics, and how you refer to Yuri as being gay, or you prophesize that she's never gonna be with a man or she's gonna be a gay person, for your kid. And I'm listening to this stuff, or how you compare your kids about meddling, the competitive nature you instill in your kids. Like Yuri's all about the medals. Like if you go to Yuri's room, the amount of medals you have, and the way the Somi always felt about that. That's why the letters to you she wrote that I still have, those were directed at you. You know, so it's the imbalance you have with your kids, the superiority. or maybe the loving of one kid more than the other, or just because one kid cannot cope with your stresses, the fatigue that the Somi came through so that she can, fall off of gymnastics. And you're talking about me not knowing the time that they get off. It doesn't matter about the time that they get off dance and gymnastics. That's not what my videos have always been about. My videos have been about what time they need to be home to also have a balance. If your focus on dance and gymnastics was more on that school aspect, then maybe. And so about my kids hating me, maybe you should think about how you treat your kids, locking them out, and the letters they've written to you, and Yuri begging you to let her sister back. Think about those kind of stuff. Think about how you balance the extracurricular of Yuri and Desomi. Think about the rivalry like you cause between these kids. And think about the zooming you zoom on them, and so that they can flatter. So you can parade them all they want. And that is on the kids' part. But then again on dance and gymnastics, think about the time. Maybe if you are able to work and maybe take care of those expenses of dance and gymnastics, maybe they could have done it. Think about the days you retired. Think about the days we had to dig into our savings to support this structure that you want. Think about the 3 months that I was begging you. I'm like, hey, you got to get some work. You got to start working. Think about when you're like, oh, okay, the money I make out of YouTube when I post as I want. I mean, now you got to be a regular because, hey, chop, that money's got to come. So think about those days that you didn't want to work, you're rested because, hey, James got a good job and, I can take care of it. No, I got to pay myself to. I got to pay my family to. And it's called balance. If I need to go to Hawaii, if I need to get a Mercedes AMG because of the hard work I do, I think I did. If I need to get a $10,000 bike, if I need to get a house, that's what I got to do. So think about those times first and think about even why you're in a position to even talk like this, because you're paid up front. If maybe I'm a what do they call it? Flight risk? Yeah, that's what it is. I'm a flight risk. So I decided, okay, if you think about I'm getting divorced to you and I'm a flight risk because I'm gonna get up in the bush bundes of Kenya. So I paid you upfront for your child support and alimony. Like think about you're paid upfront so that way you don't have to worry about any financial capability because I did that for you, to just make you feel that peace because, hey, you know what? I'm Kenyan and I'm a flight risk. I can abandon you anytime. So I got to pay you upfront. And that came from me to like, okay, this lady, she worries too much and yeah, I'm going to give that. And so that's what I did. So I hope that answers. It was because your financial capability was not able to sustain and I was not able to go under because of the financial, demand of the kids while you just slumber around worrying about when you want to have your next surgery or how pretty you look or, sleeping all day or, coming back home to ramen and noodles and tofu, and all you want to do is just eat outside and participate in dance and gymnastics. So financial aspect, that was the main problem. And then the kids balance, that's the main problem too. And then the schedule, so imbalance. So that I hope answers your questions. And I'll send you on personal note, like I always do, I'll send you a snapshot of, all this, of the letters of Desomi, and maybe that can remind you, and the rivalry, like the house, because lately, if it's all about you and the kids, it's always about just dance and gymnastics. But then what? They want to be a K-pop star. You want them to be it's all this stuff. And then the school is suffering. School has always been suffering. The kids' fatigue is suffering. Their hair is suffering. The only time you can do their hair is suffering. And then the worst part, my kids don't even have clothes you're even paid for. They don't have clothes, even though I still have to get in the groove of starting to do that. They have more dance and gymnastic clothes than they have just regular clothes. Like, it's just the other day, 2 weeks ago from today is what, 5th or 4th of May, that we were arguing about clothes. And You're like, they have more dance and gymnastic clothes because that's all they do. Even when they came to the vacation, they used to wear their dance ones. It's just because they lack clothes. But so that hope answers your question. And is James married? Now, and Lily asked the question like, okay, think about if he's getting married right now, then why did I have to call that woman a what did she say? A whore, WHORE. And remember, you've always also said like they're all infected with AIDS. Now you're running away from the Bush scenario. Okay, you saw me by a beach, but then what about the AIDS scenario with black people? I have receipts, and so these receipts will come. And once I get back to America and settle well, maybe I'll do a receipt video for you, Lily. Maybe that might remind you. So, man, my Instagram is blowing like I have. And so about that, and and all this about your upbringing of the kids, locking them out of the house, like scolding, and the financial aspect part of it, and you just being, it makes me look traditional, but actually you just want to sit there. I work till I'm 80, because I provide for you. No, it was just the value you were bringing. Sometimes I wasn't getting that value, and so as a man, nah. And and just to rewind that, when all this is happening, it reminds me of your family, because you had to do what? Figure skating. You had to do piano, and your family is still on internal debt. And your mom went through all this. You guys are in internal debt, and probably you said, you've only been stressed out when your dad passed on, and right now. And if I would let this happen, I'd probably be in your dad's situation. I'm not being, I have a lot of empathy when I say this. I have a lot of empathy, and it's never been good. But this thing is bigger than, and I'm not saying I'm not in the wrong or you're not, but it's bigger than us. This is more like a generational attack. Because if I look at your lifestyle, even your mom, I have receipts of that when we talked about that day when you woke Yuri at 5 o'clock to go compete for 3 days missing school. And your mom actually let them go to dance. I have receipts. Your mom even told me, I've embraced you for so long, and she thought I would be that person who would. But I just can't when it comes to my kids. I cannot. I'm not focusing on you and the Chris. I'm focusing on my kids. And she said, all you know was figure skating and dance. And like I said, you guys are in huge loan, and you still resent your mom because of this loan that probably most of it came because of you and what you had to do with your figure skating and pianist, and probably because you had to pay for your sister's schooling, like all the financial struggle fell on you, and you've been supporting your family for a while. And maybe for me, from an outsider, if I look at that, I'm like, because maybe, we're all good people, but you can't bring your stresses or your generational trauma into your family. If I see that as a man, I think I can't walk in the same footpaths. It's raining, and I still hope you can hear this. And so, and this is a snapshot. This is just to corner your live video right now. And so, thinking about that, how you were brought up, that's what you know, and that's what exactly you're putting onto your kids, like dance and gymnastics. But financial, when we are going under, like I'm like, you're spending $200 a week on gas, literally. I'm like, but you are making what? $2,000 a month? And you haven't even a week. And a month's got 4 weeks. You got dance. And so those were my kind of struggles. And I'm like, I'm digging into my pocket. We're digging into our savings. I can't sustain that. I'm not going to end up like that. I'm not going to end up a veggie. No. So that is all And, of course, you're going to parade the kids. You can parade them how you want. But like I said, they can do dance. And I always say this to them every day. It's just not competitive. Competitive with your income. And maybe now you can do that because, what? You're paid off or you're paid upfront? I don't know. But for me, So I think about that. Maybe that's what you know. And that's why your family is in the financial quagmire that it is right now. And, even though I hear people talking about let your kids do what they do, they might resent you to being when they're older. You still resent your parents for you being older on their financial struggles, which a huge chunk of it was because of you. And I've had to deal with your financial woes, even when you were married. Before you got married, you're talking about the boom boom room. When you were almost getting engaged with me, you were boom booing your boss, your pagoda boss. When you used to teach English at pagoda, you'd go to the clubs and boom boom because, hey, James, I'm invited to this party. I'm meeting my boss. I might get a raise. And what do? Boom boom to walk your way up there? And then we got married. And then you first week again, boom boom with your long-term boyfriend. And I'm talking things that are not true. Your only boyfriend from high school. Because of your anger. Maybe I don't know what's because you're saying you're a happy person. But to me, you've always been an angry person, violent, hitting. You know how many slaps and punches I've received before I'm like, whoa, it's full to the brim. Let's keep our hands to ourselves. Like I have taken this, and your mom was saying, because you cheated with your long-term boy, was that not my fault? Because you're angry and you decided to walk out, and I was not able to be like, hey babe, Neil, like, please don't go. And because I didn't stop you, so it's my fault. So you go boom boom with your boyfriend. And then, they talk about me having green card, and once I've gotten green card, your visa depends on me. And while I was working for that visa so that we can have permanency in America, you were busy boom booing with another person. This is in 2014. While I am working for Safe Stay, you're busy boom booing. So even those two cheatings, within our marriage, that's what I talked about. When we were getting engaged, that was another. With Chris is not even in the part of cheating. So I'm not even talking about Chris. Chris is not part of cheating. Because you know what? Our marriage went south a long time ago. And these are the internal things that I was trying to work on. And so because our marriage went south all ago, and yeah, I am waiting. Like that question you asked, don't you think this started a long time ago with me and my girlfriend? I'm not going to answer that right now because I'm waiting for you to come with your fan base and put this up. And this video is not going to be edited. So, so that you come with your receipts, because I have receipts, And yes, you've been calling my girlfriend a whore. And, there's so much. And, they can ask, you want to ask if I've introduced my kids to them. Maybe you should ask them. The same way you should ask my kid. And you should ask the scenario that I've been doing. And I know all you guys want to know if I'm married. No, I'm not married yet. And so, yeah. And this and more is going to come. But I think, I've just heard Lily said it's her time to suffer. You've been suffering a long time, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, time for my girlfriend to suffer. Yeah, come to King James _Papa and you'll always get the best, latest information. And if you're talking about me introducing, once I'm engaged and once I'm getting married, my kids, I'll talk about this when Lily comes, when Lily gets this reply video. I don't want to make it long. So that's the story about dance and gymnastics. And I still have other more about receipts that, might, want to come out. And I know, this, your video talks about, you can look at all the videos, the struggles that I've had with you. And one of the reasons you are actually talking about, I don't love you. You are looking back at your videos and you're like, you really don't love me the way you treat me. And I think maybe it's out there because I've had words. And like I said, the marriage never completed. Our divorce happened October of 2021. And James didn't move out of the house. We were still living together till January 20th. That's when I left. And so I know Lillian Chris has a beautiful story. So as James and my wife, we do have a beautiful story. And I've never been concerned about you and Chris. I'm concerned about my girls and how that is going. And you know, our story is also beautiful, and I just wanted to keep out there to mitigate this because I wanted to talk about dance and gymnastics, like Peaceful Observer and Easy. Easy, I think, is on my team. There's Peaceful Observer and there's somebody else. You know, the person who's gotten the Facebook, you know, the Winnie Facebook page, me and my blonde hair. Let me know what you think about my hair. So yeah, I want to put out there, and yeah, so Lily, keep them coming, and let's know who's been cheating and bring out the receipts, because that's my story, and I think it's pretty accurate. And yeah, and am I married? Yeah, no, I'm not married yet, but I love the way the internet goes. So did I run away? No. I think I have a great woman who will be great to me, and we're supportive. And when our stories start coming in, it would be very, very fun, like Lily said. And you know what? The good thing about my story, Lily, you know about my wife. You've known about my wife for how long? That's for your video. And you've known about all this for that long. And besides the age thing, and you got pictures too, and I'm waiting for the day you'll start exposing that. Then that way I can have pictures and start exposing the pictures, because that has been your strength. I know you've been getting receipts and doing all that, but you know about, you've talked to her on phone several times. And yes, and I guess the last time that was really violent was when I told you, like, hey, you know what? I guess maybe I'd really pursue that relationship and really get married to her. And you know how that went. You know, some people ended up in not so good place. So yeah. So I guess I'll leave it at that. And just to let you know, Lily, the Somi is really excited to be a flower girl. And when it happens, I think I'd love for you and Chris, if you accept to come. Because the Somi already accepted to be a flower girl, so. Weird seeing his profile checking out my videos. It creeps me out. It makes me kinda wanna wake up in my sleep. So try use a stock account, Chris, and yeah, follow me on Instagram.